Hi, my name's Leanne Kennedy. Thank you so much for jumping on this call with us for this virtual open house. My name is Leanne. I'm the founder of FAPA, Forsyth Academy of Performing Arts. And I'm super excited to just tell you a little bit about what we do and walk you through how we're handling opening this fall, our safety procedures, our classes, what we're offering, and hopefully have you join us, have one of your kids join us. So feel free to ask me questions in the comments. I'm happy to answer questions as we go. I'm going to share my screen with you in just a sec and kind of give you a presentation with some photos and layouts of our building and that kind of thing. So we'll cover a little bit of everything and then circle around to questions at the end. So I opened FAPA in 2013. And I opened it because I was asked over and over. I was teaching a lot of private piano and voice lessons in my home, and then freelancing as a musical theater director, musical director around Atlanta and North Georgia. And I kept getting asked the same question, which was, where can my kid go to do a show or take a class in Cumming, a drama class? And I never had a good answer to that. And so I said to my husband, I said, I think I have an idea. I'd never owned a business before, but I like spreadsheets and I know some of the best teachers in the world. So I think we should give this a try. And so we did. And we opened in the fall of 2013 with 35 kids. Since that time, at least before we closed in March, we had well over 500 kids coming and taking class with us each week. So we've grown really fast, and even though we've grown really fast, I think we still have a very family feel. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. Let's see. My name again. I'm a mom. We have a Brady Bunch family, so I have two and he has two. We have four boys together. So I'm doing all of the running around the same way that your families are, keeping track of all of our kids and families, and we live a crazy life with 3 dogs and a cat and 3 chickens. And anyway, so that's what our crazy life is like. Okay, let me get my screen shared with you, and then I'd like to take you through this presentation quickly. Here we go. Let me move my own face out of the way. Okay, great. Let's see. So I'll just run you through this quickly. And again, let me know what questions that you have. So our mission, as you see, is to foster a creative, safe, professional environment for kids to develop skills that are essential to the performing arts and beyond. And that and beyond part is really, really important to us. We always say that we're process over product driven because anything that the kids learn as a part of participating in the performing arts, whether it's teamwork or handling things as they come up that they weren't expecting, somebody drops a line, somebody forgets a prop, all of those thinking on your feet skills, teamwork skills, empathy that gets built when you're being another character, that's an instant empathy builder. All of those skills are incredibly important in real life, regardless of what you do for a career or whatever. I always say that, it would be great if some of our kids grew up to be on Broadway. I've certainly had students that have grown up to be on Broadway, but that's not the important thing to me. The important thing to me is that being a part of FAPA helps contribute to your child being a good human. So that's the most important thing that I feel like that's the most important thing to me that we're giving to your family. So that and beyond thing is really important. So as I said, we're very process over product. And what I mean by that is the journey is the important part. So all the rehearsals, all the learning lines, all the interacting with your friends and your castmates, all the building relationships, all of those things, all of the creativity, that journey is the important part. The performance is the icing on the cake. And of course we want them to be good because we want them to be a demonstration of what the kids have accomplished and a demonstration of the hard work that they've put in. But it's theater and it's kids and things happen, things go wrong. The world isn't a perfect place. And so we take those small things that happen in stride because the important thing is what they've learned along the way. So again, we're in the process, I say we're in the show up and work business, not in the results business, even though we're kind of in the results business too. But that's a life lesson that I think so many of our kids are dealing with a lot of anxiety. That's what I sense in them. And so that's a phrase that we use a lot. We're just in the show up and work business, and we'll let the results take care of themselves. Because if you put in the hard work, if you do the work, the results take care of themselves. Okay, and so you can see here our goals, developing technique. So we're always coming back to good technique. We're always coming back to good acting technique, singing, dancing, all of the things that we teach, coming back to that core value of technique while growing confidence. So seeing them light up when they accomplish something that they haven't ever done before, or maybe they're cheered on by their castmates for doing something that was really good and seeing them light up. That's what we love. Building relationships, again, that teamwork that comes from working in a creative environment. There's an inherent vulnerability that the kids kind of have to experience, or anybody has to experience in a creative setting, because you're being vulnerable with yourself and your ideas. And that builds not only great relationships, but also confidence. And then of course, practicing responsibility, seeing the kids really take ownership of what they're working on and what they're accomplishing, and knowing that it's theirs. Okay. Oh, these are just some fun pictures. You can see up here in the corner, this was from a production of Guys and Dolls that we did. This is from Frozen, which was the last show we did before we had to close down. This is from Guys and Dolls as well. This is one of our girls. Emma has been with us since the very beginning. She was one of our very first original students, and she will be a junior in high school this year. So she's been with us a long time. This is cute little Callie, and she was a Dalmatian in 101 Dalmatians. And then these guys are in a production of the Best Christmas Pageant Ever. So which is one of our plays that we did last year. So I'm just going to walk you through kind of what we offer quickly and just kind of give you a broad overview. This is all on our website, but I just want you to hear a little bit about how the program works. We have two sort of different types of programs. They either will run from August to December, so a semester, or they'll go from August to May and be a year long. And then if the things that are August to December, then we start a new show to go from January to May. So those are the two sort of options, either a year long thing or we have semester long things. You're never, I always say you're not married to us. So if you need to come and go, it's okay. Sometimes if we're working on a show, we can't, if something happens and you have to pull out of the production or whatever, like we get it. We get that life happens. And so you're never under any sort of contract with us. It's important to me, and has been since the beginning, that kids really want to be with us, that they love to be at FAPA, not that they're at FAPA because their mom made them go to FAPA, because if they don't, they're going to have to pay. And I don't want that. Okay. So quickly, we have musical theater productions, which are like singing, acting, dancing, what you think of with, Broadway. And then we have play productions, which are non-musical. So it's going to be just an acting type environment. Our musical theater productions this year for our older kids are Newsies, which is a year-long production, because we're doing the full-length production of Newsies. That's technically full. It's for our teenagers, so it's for like 6th grade and up. It's technically full, but we've launched a big waiting list because there were so many kids that wanted to do it, that we figure if enough want to do it, we can start a second cast, because we have to be so careful with capacity. We're being really, really cognizant of that. And so we want we'll just start a second cast that will meet either at a different time or a different way, if we have enough kids that still want to do Newsies. It filled up really, really fast. Addams Family is another musical that we're doing with our teenagers. It is equally as amazing and fun. It's a great show. It's of course built around the TV show that we love, but it's really, really fun. We choose shows that are super ensemble driven. So if you go to a musical and you're seeing the chorus, to me, those are the most important parts, because I know what Elsa and Anna already, like I know their story, but watching the ensemble and the chorus is where the kids really get their chops, because they don't have, without going into all of the specifics of it, you know, if you're a person in the ensemble, you don't have as many clues about what that character is as Elsa and Anna do. You have to come up with that on your own, and you have to make choices and decisions. And so we choose shows that really feature an ensemble because the old thing is true. There's no small part, only small actors. We don't ever believe that there's a small part. And so that's a huge part of our philosophy as well. Another note about these shows that I'm talking about now, all of these shows, if you sign up and there's room for you, you'll be in the show. So there's no such thing as signing up and then auditioning and then getting cut. We have auditioned groups that audition at different times throughout the year for different shows and things like that. But these class-oriented shows that I'm talking about today are, if you sign up and there's space, you're in. Once we get everybody in, we audition them, we pick parts and sort it all out, put the puzzle pieces together, and then we go into rehearsals from there. But everybody is cast, everybody is participating in that show. Okay, so teenagers have Newsies and Addams Family, and then our 1st through 5th graders are going to be working on Aladdin, which is a fantastic show. We license our musicals from a company that takes these big, huge Broadway musicals and shrinks them down to just the perfect size for kids. So it's actually called Aladdin Kids. And so the 1st and 2nd graders are grouped together, and then the 3rd through 5th graders are grouped together. And they will work together for the full year. So they'll start in August and they'll perform Aladdin typically in late April. And I'll talk about how the world has changed for performances in just a minute. But the way that will typically work is the kids get together and they work a lot of technique in the fall. So they'll be doing scenes and monologues. We sometimes have them do creative writing. So they'll write their own short plays and act in them. They'll do some dance, they'll do some music. So they'll do lots of different things in the fall. And then we get typically into October, the kids will do a demonstration. We call it a showcase, where they kind of just give you a little taste of what they've been working on all semester so far. And then from there, we audition and get started on Aladdin. And then Aladdin will rehearse from November, December, and then all the way into when it runs in April. That's traditionally how that works. We may have to adjust that timeline in the fall this year based on circumstances and what we can have in the building and how many people we can have and that kind of thing. If we're still really at a point where it's not safe to have audiences in our building, then we may adjust those. We're also investing in a lot of technology that I'll talk to you about in a second too, to help us with productions so that you don't miss anything. Moms and dads don't miss anything. So that's sort of our musical productions that we have coming up. The play productions, and all of these I should say are beginner friendly. So anything that we do that you just sign up for an audition is very beginner friendly. So it's okay to, if you've never done anything before, to just jump right into a show. We teach the kids everything they need to know. So you don't have to be worried about that. So the non-musical play productions that we have are for our 4th, 5th, and 6th graders, we have a really funny show called Bedtime Stories as Told by My Dad Who Messed Them Up. And it's a very funny comedy sort of spoof of all these crazy bedtime stories that this dad has told his kids, and they sort of retell it. It's very silly. And the kids, we've done that show once before years ago, and the kids loved it. And then our older kids, our 7th through 12th graders, are doing, and I forgot to write the title down, it's a wackadoodle title, and it's called the Holiday Channel Christmas Movie-a-thon something, but it's a really silly show that's a spoof of all of the Hallmark movies that we all tend to get absorbed in at Christmas time. So it's a total spoof, tongue-in-cheek, kind of situation around those. That's very funny. I think the teenagers are going to really get a kick out of it. So those meet once a week. Everything that I'm going to tell you about meets once a week. So it's just a once a week commitment. We sometimes will have a Saturday rehearsal right before the shows perform, just because it gives us a little bit longer stretch to put all the pieces together. But we give you that early, and you'll have that with plenty of time to prepare. But everything is really just a once a week commitment. Take the Stage is our musical theater production class, or not production class, our musical theater introduction class for our 4 and 5-year-olds. So they get in there and they learn basics of theater, they learn storytelling, they play a lot of games, they do a lot of dance, a lot of creative movement. puppets, crafts, all those things. We sort of have taken, there are states, Georgia doesn't have it, but there are states that have written really great pre-K drama curriculums. And so we have taken, sort of cherry picked the things that we loved from those and created our own curriculum for this class that really echoes the things that the kids are doing in kindergarten. So lots of pre-reading skills, like understanding in a story the beginning, the middle, and the end, identifying characters, discussing characters' feelings, all those things that really sort of start to lean into the things that they start addressing in those early elementary school years. We echo in that class in a really, really fun and exciting way. And so we always love seeing our little ones in that class. Okay, so these are some true class-oriented environments. So what I just showed you were more production. Oh, I should tell you too that Take the Stage class with the little ones, they typically do 2 demonstrations a year. So they'll do a little demo for you in like December-ish, where they'll do a song and a dance, several songs and dances. They might do some short little puppet show, different things, depends on what they've been working on and what they loved doing. And then they'll do the same thing again in May. So those are very informal. We do them in our smaller theater, but it gives you a chance to come and see what they've been doing, invite grandma or aunts or whoever to come and celebrate sort of their first big performance on stage. And performing on stage, again, we'll talk about in a minute because the world is a crazy place right now. Okay, so our film workshop, we've discovered, especially during the online classes that we've offered during all of the COVID stuff this spring and the summer, that the kids really have a big interest in film. So of course, Georgia's a huge town, huge place for film right now. And so the kids are really interested. So we have taken what started as sort of a small couple of workshops and intensives, and we've stretched it into a curriculum for a full class. It's going to be really fun. They're going to do a lot in front of the camera, some behind the camera. Acting for the camera is very different than acting for a big theater. It's a really different sort of skill set. So they'll talk about that. They'll talk about camera angles and storytelling and just all of those kinds of things, different ways to get a story across, storyboarding, those kinds of things. So that's going to be a really, really fun class and something that's brand new this year. Our acting up classes are our true acting technique classes. So these are great for kids if they know for sure they don't want to sing and dance. They can choose one of the play productions, or they can choose one of these acting up classes. And the kids do a lot of things in there. They do acting, and from the standpoint of acting, they're doing scenes, they're doing short scenes, they're doing some monologue work. They'll probably do some creative writing of their own pieces. They do improv in there. The kids always love improv. And if you have ever watched, if you don't know what improv is, it's like if you've ever watched Whose Line Is It Anyway? It's that sort of acting without a script and getting a prompt and then kind of taking it and running with it. It's a great confidence builder because it's terrifying the first time, but we do it in a way where the kids are just introduced to the concepts via games. They don't even realize what they're learning, and they eat it up. It's amazing to see how they grow. So that's our acting up classes, and we have those right now. I don't have a 1st and 2nd grade class on the schedule right now. We're just sort of seeing if there's interest in that, but we do have a 3rd through 5th, and we have a 6th through 8th, and that's always been a really popular class. The kids really enjoy it. We have a technical theater program. We kind of call it a craft program. So the technical theater and then costume design. So the technical theater kids are doing things like they work with our technical director on helping to design the sets for our shows. They work on lighting, they work on sound. Some weeks they'll come in and they're building, some weeks they come in and they're painting, some weeks they're coming in and designing, learning different techniques for theater stage design. It's different every single week. They come in and they're always busy. They're all over the place learning new things, and it's a really fun class. And the kids that get involved with it stick with it for years and years because they enjoy it so much. And then typically they have the opportunity then to turn around and work on the shows, so they can run lights or run sound, run spotlights for the actual productions that they've helped design and build. Our costume design class, I'm really excited about. This is a brand new class. We brought on an amazing, amazing costumer last year, And so we've had kids who've been interested in costume design for a long time, but I've never really had anybody to teach it. And Dee Dee's amazing. She's going to teach that. So they'll do a little bit of everything. They'll talk about design. They'll talk about like pulling from our collection of costumes and culling things, adapting things, alterations, some basic sewing, those kinds of things. So that's going to be a really fun class. And they will actually be working on our shows as well and helping to put those costumes together. Lastly, we have kind of a hybrid homeschool virtual model this year. So we have a couple different options. Right now, we're offering a musical production, an in-person musical during the day on Thursdays for ages 8 and up. We're doing The Little Mermaid. Then we also have an acting improv class and a creative art workshop. We discovered, again, over the summer, the kids were really enjoying the art classes. So Meg, our technical designer, is a brilliant artist. And so she is offering this fun workshop where they're going to work with lots of different mediums. They'll be working on different projects every week. And so the acting and improv class, if you check it out on the times, the kids can actually come for, like, the younger 7 to 11-year-olds can come for acting and improv, and then they stay the second hour for creative art, and vice versa. And then the older kids can come for improv and stay, so that they can get 2 hours. So if you're a true homeschool parent that has been a homeschool parent for a while, and you're just looking for enrichment opportunities, this is a great opportunity. They can get 2 very different experiences back to back. Or if you're doing virtual school this year, this might be a great way for you to, for the kids to still have some small group in-person interactions. Or we have another option with this, and that's we're going to offer this acting and improv class and the creative art workshop as virtual classes as well. So you can come in person and take those classes, or you can take them via Zoom at home, or you can do either one. We'll do it as sort of a hybrid. So you may start the year taking it via Zoom, and 2 months in, you might feel more comfortable, depending on what the world's like, that you would like to go ahead and switch over to coming in person, and that's great. We can adapt to that. So we're just going to make the technology work to be able to offer both of those things at the same time. Our teachers have been really amazing with coming up with creative ways to do that, and also just really creative, inventive ways to teach theater online, which we've been doing since March. Oh, and the other thing I don't have on this slide that I definitely want you to know about is so The Little Mermaid would be an in-person musical rehearsal. We're also offering a completely virtual musical. So there's a fun show called The Best Birthday Oh my God, it just went right out of my head. The Most Epic Birthday Party Ever, which is, it's fantastic. It's a great, great story. We did it a few years ago in person with the kids, and we loved the script, and the kids really enjoyed the show. And we think it'll work great as an adaptation to a virtual musical, which we've done several this summer. If you'd like to see one of our virtual musicals, you can actually go to our YouTube channel and watch Super Happy Awesome News. And you'll see how the kids filmed in their own homes, their little snippets, and we piece them together and basically make a film out of it. So you can see one of those on our YouTube channel if you want to check it out. But the Most Epic Birthday Party Ever we're going to do a similar experience with. So the kids will rehearse online via Zoom. They'll record using phone, tablet, computer, whatever you have at home. Email us those files. We have a whole system. We've done it enough times now that we're getting the kinks out. They'll send us those files. We'll piece it together into a film, and then we'll release it for the kids and for you to be able to watch together at home. It's been a ball. It's worked really, really well all summer long. So that's called The Most Epic Birthday Party Ever. It's under the Homeschool Virtual tab on our website. Okay, let me show you our staff real quick. This is not a completely inclusive list, but this is what we've got on the schedule right now for fall. We have lots of different people who come in and out and work with us at different times. You'll sort of see what I mentioned before, that we're very much sort of a family affair, and you'll see how that plays out as I talk through these guys. But Erica Turner up there in the top left, that's a picture of her with 2 of our boys that have been with us for a long time. And Erica has been with us for a while. She is actually the sister of Nicole, who's right here below her. Nicole was one of my students when she was in high school. I taught her voice. And so I have known Nicole and Erica for many, many years. They both went to school for theater. And then Erica actually moved to Thailand and was teaching English in Thailand while Nicole finished out her master's of education. And I kept telling Erica, kept telling Nicole, when is your sister going to move back? Because I want her to come work with me. And so when she finally moved back to the States, I grabbed her up, and she's been with us ever since. And she's a huge, huge important part of our team. Nicole teaches with us as well. She is at this very, very moment about to have her first baby. So we're excited about that. Erica just had her first son. He is about 8 months old. So we're having lots of babies at FAPA. It's very fun. Meg Davenport in the middle there is our technical theater director, and she also works on our plays. She'll be directing the holiday Christmas-a-thon Hallmark movie play. I should have mentioned Erica does a lot of our 3rd through 5th grade musicals. She'll be directing Newsies, and then she'll also be working on our acting up classes. Nicole is taking some time off to be a mom for a little bit, but she actually works with Kate, who you'll see in the bottom corner down here. Nicole has been developing our Take the Stage curriculum, and so she's fantastic. She's been teaching at Otwell Middle for the last couple of years, and she's going to take some time off to be mom. Dee Dee in the middle is our amazing costumer, and I believe that's a costume on her dog. Slade is a very, very brave dude. You'll see he's the only gentleman in our photo. He works on our music. He's actually a senior at Reinhardt University studying vocal performance. He's extremely talented singer and composer. And he is studying, I found him because he's studying with my college mentor, who now teaches at Reinhardt. And Slade works as musical director for us on a lot of our musical productions. He's fantastic. Chelsea Wooten down at the bottom with Olaf and a cute little curly-haired boy. Chelsea has 3 curly-haired boys, and she works with us teaching our 1st and 2nd grade musicals, and then she'll also be working on Addams Family and doing the film class. Kaylee Steele is in the middle down there. Kaylee's a very, very talented choreographer, and our kids love her. And she will be working on Newsies and Addams Family, and then she also works with our company program. And then, of course, I mentioned Kate. Kate is in the bottom. She's a senior at Alliance Academy. She's actually been a student with us for many, many years, and she and Nicole work together on the Take the Stage classes. Kate is an extremely talented teacher, and our little ones love her. She also assists Chelsea in a lot of her classes. Okay, so let me walk you through our building and just kind of give you an idea of the space, because I think that will help to answer some of your questions as far as we getting into safety. Our building in total is 6,000 square feet, so it's quite a large space. This area down at the bottom of your screen is is where the driveway and parking lot area is. This right here is our front door. You walk in, and this is our lobby. When I first opened FAPA, we took this side of the building. This was all we had. It was 3,000 square feet, and we thought it would be great, and it was for about a semester, and it already started to get cramped. And so we took over the other half of the building. And it was actually a CrossFit gym. So they moved out the boxing ring, and we built a stage and turned it into a theater. So it's worked really well for us. So again, this is our lobby. We have a couple different restrooms here, large restrooms. And then this room in here we call the purple room because it's extremely purple. It's actually our smallest rehearsal space, but it's still 20 by 20. So it's still a sizable room. We use that room for small, especially now that we're being so cautious about distance. We use that room when we have small rehearsals. So 2 or 3 teenagers might be running a scene with a director, or we might have a duet song that's being worked on. So we use that for very small rehearsals or environments. And then we do use that room for our Take the Stage classes, because those typically only have at most 5 to 6 4- and 5-year-olds. So they're very small. They don't take up a lot of room, and we can give them plenty of space in that room to spread out and have fun. But it also keeps them focused and contained because our other rooms are so large. This room back here used to be a classroom space, but we've turned it into costume costume space now, and it also serves as backstage space. You'll see when I show you the pictures that when you get on stage, if you walk off the stage, you can come down a short set of stairs here and right directly into this room. So it almost serves as like a backstage area. Then you can kind of come into this larger room when if we're having a show in the big theater, the kids can spread out some back here. And if they need to grab another prop or those kinds of things. This area where the smaller stage is, we discovered that this is about 1,500 square feet, this section right here. So to give you perspective, I mean, you can put a 3-bedroom house in 1,500 square feet. So it's still a large room. And we use that space for larger dance rehearsals, blocking rehearsals when we're putting a show together if somebody else is on the stage. And then we also have a small stage in there, which we discovered has worked really well for some of our older high schoolers as they have graduated into doing some more serious work. It's worked as a really nice stage in a more intimate black box venue for them to work in. So I don't have a great picture facing the stage, but I will show you a picture from me standing on the stage and shooting the rest of the room. And then lastly, this is our 3,000 square foot room where we do all of our performances. You'll see that the stage is quite large. We actually have expanded it another 4 feet in depth, just because since we don't have audiences in the building, we figured we might as well make the stage larger. That way the kids have more room to spread out. And it's worked really well this summer with the shows that we're doing. This week we're doing, we're catching up all of our spring shows. And so because we can't have audiences, we're bringing the kids in and having them do their shows, and we're filming them. And then we'll be emailing that to parents, and they'll have a great watch party where they'll get to enjoy seeing. The kids work so hard on all their shows. So this week we're actually doing 15 different shows in 5 days. So we're trying to set a world record, I think. But it's worked really great. And like I said, we expanded that stage out. And then we have risers and seating out here, and we've distanced the chairs so the kids, when they come in, they still, even to sit down in the theater space before they're ready to go on stage, they still have plenty of space to sit down and keep their stuff and have everything contained and close together. So that's sort of the building. That's a not pretty version of looking at it. This is what it actually looks on the inside. As I said, this is our building is not beautiful on the outside, but it works really well for us. So we overlook its less than gorgeous exterior. But this this area works as a carpool line for us. So I'll talk about this a little more in a minute, but one of the ways that we have always operated using a carpool system. So the kids, you can just pull up to the door and drop your kids off. And then you have a car tag just like you would at school. And then you can run errands, or you can sit in the parking lot and read a book or whatever floats your boat. And then when class is over, you just jump in the line and pull right back through, and we bring the kids out to you when you show us that car tag. So it keeps them safe, but it also keeps our parking lot flowing, because we only have about 15 spaces. So on a busy night, that's just not enough. So we've had to be creative. And I think what we've done this summer is we've sort of enhanced the way that we've done that. We've done it exclusively that way, where we've kept the lobby closed and exclusively done carpool, and it's worked really, really well for the summer camps that we've held. So we're going to continue that into the fall. We do temp checks as soon as the kids get out of their cars. We have signs up to kind of walk you through the screenings that we need, no coughing, no fever, no shortness of breath, no exposure to COVID. And then from there, the kids are able to come in and go directly to class. So we're set up to do that this year, and I think it's going to work great. It's always worked well, and we're just going to just sort of enhance a little bit what we've been doing. Okay, so this is our lobby. So this is literally when you walk in the front door, this is what you see. And then this room goes into that black box that I'm going to show you in a minute, that larger rehearsal space. And this door right here comes into the purple room. This is the door that's right behind where you can't see behind these chairs. You walk right into this door. This is our purple room. And as you can see, there's plenty of room in there. It's about a 20 by 20 room. And again, that's for 2 to 3 teenagers or 5-ish 4 and 5-year-olds. So yeah, and then this is going to go into the costume room, which you're going to see in just a second. So this is our green room and our costume room. This door just came from the purple room, and this door actually goes into the black box, which is right here. So this is that the smaller of our 2 performance venues. This is me standing on the stage that I told you about, taking the picture out. And this is a little bit older picture. So even still, you can see that all of those kids, I think there's probably about 30 kids in that picture, they all still have a lot of room, and we're not packing them in nearly that tight right now. So it's a nice big open space that allows us to spread out and give them plenty of room to work. This is our theater space. It does not look exciting necessarily from this picture, but you can see, and this doesn't show you that additional 4 feet of depth, but we've pulled this out even further and allowed this platform to be larger. And then there's another platform and then another platform. So it's a big stage. We can do a lot with it. It's worked really well for us. And so while it doesn't look extremely exciting in that darker picture, but this is what it looks like when it's all lit up and the kids are in costume, and it works really beautifully for us. It's been, I don't know how we could have done what we've done if we didn't have our own space, because we do so many shows. Renting a facility would be next to impossible. So it's been really, really important to us that we have our own performance venue, so that we're not at anybody else's, we're not at the mercy of anybody else's schedule. We can do what we need to do to give the kids the best experience we can. Okay, so let's talk quickly about safety and how we're approaching that. As I've mentioned several of these along the way, but our class sizes we're being very cognizant of. We're keeping them smaller than we've traditionally allowed them to get, making sure that there's just plenty of room for everybody to have their own space. I'm not a doctor, but what I understand about this virus is the things that are really, of course, kids, they're telling us are the least likely to pick this up or transmit it. However, it's proximity, their closeness, and also length of time that seem to be the issues that we most need to worry about. So, of course, the kids are only coming into us the little ones are only with us for about 45 minutes. All the way up to at most 2 hours for the teenagers, but most of the younger ones are typically with us for an hour and 15-ish minutes. So having plenty of room for them to have their own space to move around, and that smaller amount of time, I think has worked really well for us, just making sure that we're being careful. Again, as I mentioned, we'll do screenings before each class. We talk about those fever, shortness of breath, those items, and then also we do a temperature scan of their foreheads before they come in the building. We double check that. We've done that all summer as a part of the carpool line, and it's worked great. We've been able to move people quickly through. The kids just hop out, we take the temperature, and in they go, and they get started as soon as they arrive. So it's worked really well. We are following all of the CDC guidelines as far as isolation in case someone gets ill. So if someone did start to show symptoms or started to feel bad during class, we have an immediate plan to isolate them, to contact their parents, to make sure that they get picked up quickly, to keep the other kids in the building safe. As I said before, our lobby is closed to parents. So our building is only open to students and staff right now. That is just because I think that's from the guidelines that the CDC has given us, that's seems to be the best option that we can do as far as keeping adults and kids safe, is just keeping the kids in the building. And of course, our staff is screened as well. Let's see, enhanced car line procedures. Like I explained earlier, we run the kids through that line. It works really well. We're sort of following the school's guidelines as far as masks go. So they are optional. We're not requiring them. However, they are more than welcome. I have the same policy with the staff. They can choose to wear them or not, depending on their comfort level and their families, the members of family that they have, if they have someone vulnerable. And, you know, what we found is this is a very divisive topic, especially if you're on social media, but for the adults, but the kids handle it just fine. We haven't had any issues with it all summer. The kids that have worn masks have done just fine. And the kids that haven't have, everybody's been really kind, and it hasn't been an issue. So, so that is, it's important to me that families feel like they can do what's best for their family. So that's our policy on that. As I sort of mentioned briefly, we have really invested in technology to make sure that even if we aren't able to have audiences in our building in the near future, that you can still see your kids perform. Most of what we've done thus far this year has been filmed, edited, and then sent later via a watch party or just straight via email. But we have technology in place that we can live stream shows if we get to the point where the kids are ready to perform in their typical season spots, and we still can't have an audience. We're ready for that. We've been anticipating that, so we can get them all live streaming, so you can watch them live at home and enjoy it as it's happening, which is also kind of cool because, you know, grandma in Nebraska can watch it online too and see it at the same time. So it's allowing us to sort of broaden our audience a little bit. We're being very cognizant of air filtration and those kinds of things. One of the nice things about our building is we have really, really tall ceilings. And so again, all that air circulation, being careful with filtration. We're working with our HVAC company to make sure that we have all the right things in place to keep the air fresh for the kids. We are very cognizant. The minute they walk in the door, they get a squirt of hand sanitizer. Anytime they change rooms, they're sanitizing hands, washing hands, all those kinds of things. So we're being very cognizant of that. We're being careful about things like not choreographing the kids touching each other, blocking scenes where there's distance in between the kids as best we can. So we're just being very cognizant of personal space. We call it the bubble. And making sure the kids are reminded to stay in their bubble. And then of course, you know, we've been told sort of that this is not a surface transmittable virus necessarily, or it's not as often spread through surface transmissions, but we're being extremely cautious about all of the frequently touched surfaces in our building. So everything is getting cleaned, wiped down, sanitized really often. And by that, I mean all of the restroom spaces. Our water fountains are closed just to be safe. Doors, doorknobs, there's not a lot of that the kids actually even touch, but we're being really cognizant, and we have a schedule that we're following to make sure that all of those things are cleaned frequently, which is a good thing for all of us to do regardless. Okay, so these are just some fun pictures of some of the kids from the virtual things that we've done. So this was the super happy, awesome news I told you about on our YouTube channel that the kids performed. We licensed this production from a really awesome company called Beat by Beat Press, who have written 2 different musicals in the last couple months specifically for kids to perform online. And so it's been a great experience. You can see the same thing here. These are kids that have taken class via virtual, via Zoom. This is obviously a Zoom painting class. It was really fun. We had parents take with their kids. It was really, really fun. So we've been doing these virtual classes literally since this all started back in March. We immediately pivoted online and have taught virtual classes since April, or actually since the end of March, through April, through May, through June, and then we've just come back with small camps in July. Okay, and then these are just some fun pictures of some of the kids. As I said, we're a very family-oriented place. I love looking at these pictures because I see that these kids are all coming from different schools, different counties, and they have found some of their best friends as a part of being a part of FAPA, and that makes me really proud. It makes me really, really excited for them to have built those relationships. I love these 2 little cuties. This was one of their performances back at Christmas, and they were so excited to be on stage together. And this, if you ever see anything from us that has llamas, we have a lot of llamas. It's kind of our thing. That's our mascot, and her name is Dolly. We call her Dolly Llama, the no drama llama. We do theater, not drama, is kind of one of our sayings. And so we ended up with a no drama llama, and the kids named her Dolly. A couple more pictures just from some productions that we've done recently. All these guys. And then this, of course, was Frozen. And it was the last show that we did before everything sort of closed down. So it's a little bittersweet to see that, but the kids were amazing. It was a great experience. So that's us. That's us in a nutshell. And I'm going to look back at my notes and see if there's anything else I needed to tell you. And you are welcome to pop some questions into the comments. I would love to answer them for you. Let's see. I think that's everything. We're trying to give both virtual and in-person options for kids who love the performing arts this fall, so that you can do whatever's best for your family. And I would love to answer any questions that you have about that or about our programs. If you go to our website and hover over the classes tab, everything will drop down and you can see by age what we're offering. And from there, it's a very simple, straightforward registration process. All of our tuition is billed monthly. It's important to me that you don't ever feel surprised by anything. So we do try to warn you before. The only extra things that you'll ever see is everybody, we do a $35 registration fee once per academic year. So you'll pay that in August, and then that's it until the next school year. And then if you're in one of the productions, so one of the musicals or one of the straight plays, there's a production fee associated with those. It's in the 25 to 35-ish dollar range, depending on the show. That helps us cover costuming and all those kinds of things. And that will be due a month before the show runs. We send you plenty of notice to know that that's going to happen. We automatically bill the first business day of the month, so you don't have to think about it or worry about it. If you would rather pay by cash or check, we work that out with you too, whatever works best for your family. But that's it. You won't see us nickel and dime you for anything. That's important to me. You will see, if you're in a show, you might see an opportunity to buy a cast t-shirt, or you'll need to purchase tickets for the shows when those roll around. But other than that, that's it. And those are at your discretion of what you want to do with as far as how many tickets you need and that kind of thing. So yeah, I think that's everything. Again, we would love to have your kids come and join us. We would love to have them participate with us. It's going to be a great fall. I think the kids have really missed having an outlet. They've missed each other. And I think it's going to be really special to get them all back together and enjoying what they love, or trying something new, because one of the things I love to see is kids who come in who maybe they tried sports and it wasn't their thing, or maybe they tried ballet and it wasn't their thing, and they come in and they're like, this is the thing, this is my thing, these are my people. And so that's my favorite moment every year, is seeing those kids come in the door and go, oh, these are my people. So anyway, I hope that your kids can come and join us, and please reach out anytime if you have any questions. All the contact information on the website comes directly to me, so you'll be emailing me directly, and I'm happy to answer any questions or help any way I can. So thanks so much for jumping on this with us. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and I'll look forward to hopefully seeing you this fall.